Hello, everybody, and welcome back for another week of Kingdom Death Simulator. Oh, shoot. Uh, I'm still in the hallway. I forgot to go to the gaming table. We've got mail. It's here. Hello, everybody. I'm Smodian. Welcome to our Kingdom Death Simulator. So much to talk about this week. Let's get right into it and check our mail. First of all, we've got a glitch. Oh, what's in the box? Ooh. You gained the Signet heirloom. A signet of authority, a binding charm, imprisoning words in silence until broken by rightful hands. Neat. So what this is part of the new social features that they've added into the game. The Signet allows you to share your settlement sheets, I believe character sheets, although your character sheets are connected to the settlement sheets, as well as the photographs you can take of your table and send that to your in-game friends. So it's a cool way to like share campaigns. I was thinking about this the other day. I think it would be really cool to like come up with scenarios, kind of like pre-made vignettes. We're like, okay, here's your setup, here's your survivors. Try and get through this fight. So I think there's a lot of really cool possibilities for this. Not something I'm personally going to be engaging with, at least not anytime soon, but yet another cool feature that has come to our simulator. We also have the Pariah. Let's go take this into our room real quick. Set this on the table. Boop. And we also have the thing I have been very impatiently waiting for. When I first saw this expansion, I fell in love with it. The Red Witches. So, before we get into our unboxing, again, welcome here for our Kingdom Death Simulator. We have to give ourselves our little content warning. Kingdom Death Monster is a very mature game. It has a lot of very mature artwork, as well as descriptions and depictions of multiple violent acts, including dismemberment and gore, as well as descriptions of mental trauma. So, as always, first and foremost, look out for yourselves. Totally understand if this is not great for you. Hello, Josh. Welcome to the stream. Additionally, if this is your first time here, you can check out the YouTube channel with all the VODs, which will show you how we got to this point. Spoiler alert, not great. As well as folks over on YouTube, you can check out the descriptions below for a link to the Twitch stream where we are live just about every Friday evening. And you'll notice some changes here. First of all, added Twitch chat onto the overlay so you YouTube people don't think I'm insane and talking to myself. We are not wandering the path of the insane just yet here on the stream. That might come sooner rather than later. Also, very clearly some other stuff to talk about, which we'll get into in a bit. But first, let's unblock these expansions. Yes, Josh, I am very happy you are here. So maybe you can catch some of those mistakes in real time, but I appreciate all of your feedback on the YouTube videos. As I'm sure you're aware, this is an immensely complex game, especially when you're playing solo, as well as managing an entire stream setup. So I apologize for any rulings that I may have gotten incorrect. I do try to, after a stream, look back at what I've done and try to see where I did make mistakes and can improve in the future. So those YouTube comments are very helpful in doing that. For anybody that's here live, we do have a chat command. Remind me when I'm messing something up. Yep, that's the thing. We can't correct people until we know ourselves, and at least for myself, the easiest way to learn is by doing it wrong the first time. All right, first of all, we've got the pariah. We're going to unbox this into the game room. Wow. So we have, I don't know too much about the pariah. All I know is we're not going to be fighting him in this campaign because he kind of scares the crap out of me. I've seen a little bit of his mechanics. Don't want to overdo it just yet. But there are two different versions of him. The pariah himself, and I think this is called the inverted pariah or something like that. As well as we see here, we have some inverted survivors. That's wild. Beautiful sculpts. One day I'll have this in physical, but kind of trying to hold off on buying too much of that stuff right now. Enjoying things digitally while I can. Gorgeous art in the book as well. Oh, and there's a settlement event associated with him. That's terrifying. But this is, for myself, the main event, what we're here for. I mean, you could tell it's special because it's in a red box. Come on. Bring that into our game room. Yes, we are environmentally conscious here. Oh, wow. So the red witches, as you could tell by the scale here, are massive. So yes, there are 3 red witches. This is a Nemesis encounter. This is Nemesis Node 2, so replaces the Kingsman. For this campaign, we were running Slenderman. We're going to swap out the Slenderman and put these guys in because I honestly cannot wait to check them out. And they are 3 separate characters. Yes, Pizza Maid. We do have chat on the overlay. This is so the YouTube folks can kind of get the other sides of the conversations that we have now. Oh, Josh, the Gambler's Chest is so awesome. I finally finished building all my models earlier this year. Or no, late last year, I think. So I still have to tackle the giant pile of gray plastic that needs to be painted. But yes, the Red Witches, we have 3 separate characters. Once within this Nemesis. So when you fight them, at level 1, you only fight 1 of the witches. At level 2, you fight 2 of the witches. And at level 3, you fight all 3 of the witches. Not entirely sure what the robed figures are for. That's going to be interesting when that comes up. And there's also some things, I know that they have a story event that kind of ties in with the pariah. So maybe on a future campaign, we'll run Pariah with Red Witches. And then, very big picture, this all ties into a campaign that I think is still scheduled to be launching next year, once all of the expansions come in stock, with the Frog Dog at Node 1. I forget the exact nodes for the other ones, but I think it includes the Oblivion Mosquito, the Nightmare Ram, and I forget the last one. Along with, for your Nemesis, the Pariah, the Red Witches, and the Black Knight. And all of that, no, not even Campaigns of Death. They're just releasing all of the individual models. And once you have the individual models, I forget what the core monster is, but that core monster is going to come with the rules for what's known as the Inverted Mountain campaign. So, really cool. Might be picking this one up in physical sooner rather than later. It's just such a cool expansion. So we're going to get these guys in the game. So before we do that, we have to come in here and extract our friend the Slenderman. We are not going to be using him any longer. And then we can just send that over to the cabinet. Yeah, I have the core game. Physically, I have the core game, I have the Gambler's Chest, and I have most of the Gen 1, or whatever you want to call them, expansions. The only ones I'm missing are the Lonely Tree and the Spidicules. I think I have everything else. And I don't have any of the newer stuff that's come out since. So no Frog Dog, no Black Knight. Obviously, none of these guys. So Slenderman is out. We gotta move him off of our timeline. That was this event. It's already... Was that this event? Yeah, it's already here. That was him. But we need to see what to do to add in the Red Witches. So we can use our handy-dandy little spyglass to search Red Witches book. Give me the book. Why can I not rotate it? That's awkward. Okay, we'll figure that out. So add to your collection, Showdown organizers, add Red Witches to campaign. So at the start of the campaign that includes the Red Witches, add Red Witches Disorders to the Disorder deck. Those should already be in there. We'll double check the box. Add the Fighting Arts. If your campaign includes Ark Survivors, we do not have that yet. That is a Gambler's Chest thing. No pinups just yet, Lantis. I'm really hoping once they get the painting mechanic into the simulator, maybe we can get some of those pinup models. But as it is, the pinup models don't really have any gameplay to them, so there's no sense for them being in the simulator just yet. Red Witches are Node 2 monster. Node 2 Nemesis monsters appear in the blah, blah, blah. Okay. Is there a story event for them? Okay. Remove the Node 2 Nemesis monsters in the core game. Remove Armor Strangers, Nemesis Encounter Kingsman. Add Challenger at the Gates to Lantern Year 9. Dreamkeeper, Suns, Stars. So it doesn't say specifically when to add the other encounters in. I'm assuming it's going to be a 1-to-1 replacement for the Kingsman, but we will see that as we get there. And I got to read up because there's all kinds of new rules, but we'll figure that out before we get there. Lantern Year 9 is a ways off. Okay, so Challenger at the Gates, Lantern Year 9, and we'll figure out the rest from there. Cool. All right. As for the actual game that we're going to be playing tonight, so astute viewers will notice we have new overlays. If you remember last week, my overlay was completely broken by an OBS update. It was relying on a very, very old plugin that has not been supported in several years. So sitting on that ticking time bomb, and it finally detonated on me. I've been working on these new overlays in the background for a couple months now, off and on in my free time. But obviously had to get those going now. So what we have here with the previous overlay, we were using just Google Sheets, and I had a plugin for OBS that could read the API. And I was just displaying that on the screen. It's why it was not the most attractive thing to look at, because the only way I could display it was essentially writing old HTML code to display it as a table. So thankfully, my experience making a GeoCities web page back in the 90s paid off. But this is the first step of my true vision for the overlays. Still going to keep working on this. So what this is, I have running in the background, I've actually made an app. I know a little bit of Python from my day job. Decided to apply that to my hobby time. So I have the most insane amount of spaghetti you can imagine running behind the scenes, enough to feed a significant portion of the entire nation of Italy. But it's 90% functional. There's still a few bugs that I've got to deal with, so hopefully you can work on that. I don't think it's really going to impact things, but if it does, we'll just soldier on. But yeah, so what's that doing? It's saving all of my stats to a text file on my hard drive, and then I also have an additional Python script that is running in OBS. So if anybody is familiar with OBS, every text display that you see on the screen comes from its own file. OBS is only capable of reading essentially one file for one element. That would be insane, because I think between the monster and 5 characters, I'll get to that in a second, it's 300 or so lines of text. So I would need 300 separate text files, and that's going to be a mess. However, that Python script that is running within OBS is able to save that all into one text file, and call upon headers to load that into OBS. So we have 4 different overlays for each of our characters, so we can get a better view of what's going on, a better breakdown of their stats, as well as we see that there is a lot of currently empty space here. That's because I'm planning ahead for when the gambler's chest eventually hits the simulator. Don't want to have to be scrambling to figure that out. So I've already essentially got a lot of these stats and other stuff in place for the simulator. And that's why I said 5 characters, because if you're familiar with the gambler's chest, there is a scout accompanying you. So that is our 5th character here, obviously not in use, but you can see once the gambler's chest is in, we're going to be occupying a lot more real estate in our overlay. But until then, keeping it simple, and hoping for the best. We're going to see how this plays out. I finished this Wednesday. I started working on it Sunday. I was assuming that it was going to be fairly simple because I'd already done all of the coding side stuff. I just needed to do the actual overlay. Turns out I was underestimating OBS and its intricacies. So spent all day Sunday and then Monday night working on that. And then when I was testing it Monday night, I realized I had some bugs in my code that could not go live with. So I had to spend Wednesday night fixing the code. And like I said, we're mostly functional. If things go wrong, I apologize, but I'm going to do my best. And before we get into our actual stuff, I just remembered I need to check to see if all the Red Witches stuff is actually on the table, and it is not. What are you? You need to come out. Secret Fighting Arts, you need to come out. Oh, we got innovations associated. That's interesting. Regular Fighting Arts. I think we also had disorders, right? Yep. And that should be everything. Everything in the Red Witches chunk, that's all of the combat stuff. Basic hunt events, that's fine. All right, we should be good to go. Yeah, I'm assuming we're all right. We'll figure it out. All right, as for what we're doing, if you remember looking at our calendar, we're still very early on in the campaign, and it's just Gorm City. Gorm, we're on Lantern Year 2, Gorm. Or Lantern Year, also going to do Lantern Year 3 tonight, also Gorm. Lantern Year 4 would normally be Butcher. We don't have Butcher in this campaign, so guess what? Gorm. And then Lantern Year 5, everything is going to kick off. So that's going to be fun. But it's all elephant babies for the next 3 years. And let's get right into it. Accompanying us tonight, we have Shirley, who is going to be our Rib Blade user. So big damage, hopefully from Shirley. We have our tank in Kumar. Nothing special about Kumar. Got him a bone axe. We have our ranged character in Farley. And we have our Fist and Tooth user in Rhonda. Still not sure how long we're going to be using Rhonda for because she has this ghostly beauty disorder. Double survival spent doesn't feel great. I might primarily use her. Actually, I was thinking about that today. We're going to move these bandages over to Rhonda. Because she's probably going to be doing a lot of support for us since she's not going to be using too much survival. But at least for now, she has an extra +1 luck, so I think it's still good to bring her along as a Fist and Tooth user. But big picture, an improvement over the previous campaign. We got a couple weapons. We need organs and bones. That's our main goal for hunting right now. I need organs. I need bones. Hopefully we can get some ammonia for free from the Gorm as well. We've got 3 years to figure that out. Let's kick it off. Let's see who is starting our hunt phase. We have one, which is Shirley. So Shirley's going to get our first Gorm hunt event. Sportsman's Kill. The survivors pass a finely armored man commanding a retinue of slaves who are busily butchering the remains of an enormous Gorm. The man proudly invites the survivors to marvel at his skill. Roll a d10. Okay. No ifs, ands, or buts. Just roll a d10. With a 7, the man warns you of dangers just beyond your vicinity. You may re-roll one random hunt event results during the hunt phase. Neat. Take it. Moving on to Kumar. Oh, Morning Bull. This one again. Or brain damage. God, this. I'm still afraid of the Gorm with +1 damage because, God, we got our butts kicked that last fight. How are we doing on insanity? Nothing, 2, and nothing. So really, the 3 brain event damage isn't going to do anything because it's event damage. We don't roll severe injuries or mental trauma. So I think we're just going to do that. So all that means is we are reducing Farley's insanity to 0. I think that's the right play. Then got to move his fat butt out of the way so that Farley can reveal our hunt event, which we do have the opportunity to re-roll if we want. Let's see what we get first with a 56. Dead monster. Oh, this is good. We're not re-rolling this one. The survivors find a decomposed monster corpse is too rotten to yield any resource. Any survivor has 3+ understanding. We do not. If no survivor has 3+ understanding, the starving survivors feast on... Oh. Yeah, we're going to re-roll this. I'm used to getting this when we have the understanding. Yeah, I don't want to lose 1 survival. Consume isn't a big deal. But we don't have a ton of survival. And we have a free reroll, so we might as well use it. Getting us a 15. Man trap. Well, that's also not great. Okay. So as long as you don't roll, I'm not even going to say it out loud. Not even going to say it out loud. Farley with a 7. So that means the trap is quite old and weak. Suffer 1 event damage to the legs. All right. And that should give us an L. Hey, it's working correctly so far. And then that's it. Rhonda will get to the Gorm and start the fight. So another painless hunt phase. I would like to start getting something out of our hunt phase. We could really use some stats, but not going to complain too much. Let's set up our showdown. Okay. And then I always have to remind myself, yes, these grass patches are static. Otherwise, what have we got? We've got a debris adjacent to any board edge. So what do we got here? So this is our starting line. So what we will do... June, hello friend. Thank you for the follow. What do we want to do here? We're going to bring Farley over here. So Farley's probably going to interact with that debris. And we also have our ore vein. 6 spaces from all other terrain. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoopsie. So we'll actually start Farley over there. And then we'll have Rhonda interact with the debris. And then just to be on the safe side, we'll get Shirley a little out of the way. All right, I think that's a good starting situation. I think we got a stone noses out here, yes. So Shirley is going to get a survival and an insanity. And that should be all we have going on here. Yeah, let's kick it off. With a flatten. Random survivor in blind spot is nobody. Closest survivor in field of view in range is anyone. So, of course, we are going to choose... Whoops, Kumar. So Kumar actually has an extra evasion. He ate the bug, was it? Yeah, it was a bug that he ate. Got an extra evasion. Still need to get a monster grease on him, and then he's going to be pretty much untouchable. But he's already sitting at a +3. So 5 speed. God, I hate this attack. I also got to turn the Gorm around. I'll do that in a second. But the Gorm does get knocked down. So we're going to take a beating and then beat the crap out of this stupid baby. So we actually might skip on gathering these resources until next turn. So this will be hitting on 5s. 1, 2, 3. 4 hits. Jeez. Okay. Okay. Body, 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 body. Oh, Kumar! Kumar, what have you done? All right, well, he's going to dodge one of those. See if he gets his survival back. He does. Oh, my God. So that's 1, 2. Let me make sure that's working correctly. Nope, overlay's broken. Update. Oh no. Having some difficulty. This was the bug I ran into. thought it wouldn't be a problem, but it looks like it is. Shoot. All right. Unfortunately, looks like overlay is not going to happen tonight. Apologize, friends. Darn. I thought I could work around that bug, but apparently I can't. So gotta quickly update some things here. Everything else should be accurate. She has an insanity now, 3 survival with a 1, a 1, and a 1. Farley with a, oopsie. Farley with a 1. Did lose all of his insanity. And Rhonda with a 3. And a 1. And I got to clear all this off. So nobody else has any lasting damage, right? Okay. Yep, so apologize, friends. Gosh, I thought that was working in my testing. But I'm running into a little bit of an issue with integers and letters. Ultimately, I need to split up the armor from the actual injuries. That's going to be a bit down the line, and that's kind of what I'm running into right now, so apologize. Anyway, so Kumar, first hit brings him down to 0. Second hit brings him to severe. He's going to be knocked down anyway. And then we got to roll on the severe injury table. With a 10. All right, not bad. Knocked down. Well, you're already knocked down. He's triple knocked down. And then knock back 5. 1, 2, 3. Actually, I go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, the Gorm is knocked down. So what that means is all attacks will hit on 3, and all reactions will be ignored. So we're going to beat the crap out of them. So around to our turn. First thing we're going to do, Shirley's going to spend a survival to stand up Kumar. And she might as well come right in. Swing with that big old rib blade. Hitting on a 3 because of knockdown. This rib blade cannot be cursed 2 campaigns in a row. Rhonda. Fist and Tooth. Again, hitting on 3s. What is happening? Farley. Bone darts. All right, so thanks for showing up, folks. I know it was a short stream tonight, but we're just going to stop there because I can't play the game. I can't play the game. Oh, my goodness. Well, Farley, friend, might as well scoot back a bit. Or no, that was Farley. Yeah, going to scoot back a bit. And then Kumar, you can return to your position. Two hits. God. None of this is going to matter. So what do we have here? We have 3 strength on the Bone Axe, 1 strength on the Farley. Gorm should be toughness 8. Correct. So we are wounding on a 4. We'll do this one first. With a wound. And then this one with a wound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 attacks on a knockdown, and only 2 wounds to show for it. That's the way the game goes. That's just how it happens. So, start of the monster's turn, Gorm will stand up. I believe technically he should have been facing that way. Which means actually I wouldn't have put Farley there. Farley was here. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put Farley here. Just got to remember, I forgot what I didn't turn him around last time. So, next AI card. Charge. Closest threat facing in range is actually nobody. Random survivor in field of view. Wow. Could not get Farley up there, unfortunately. Or Kumar, I mean. So with a 4, it's going to be Rhonda. 4 speed. My God. This will be hitting on 3s. 2 hits. Okay. So that is 2 damage each. Both to the head. So she does have the skull helm. She only has the 1 survival. So I think we need to save that. She's going to be knocked down, but she would have been knocked down anyway. Was there bash associated? There, or knockback? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Full move towards the closest threat. That's Kumar, so it's going to sit right there. All right. Survivor's turn. Let's start off by gathering this ore vein with Farley. With a 9. Gain an iron and archive the terrain. Nice. Oh, come on. Iron. And then Kumar is going to spend a survival to stand up Rhonda. Does he get it back? He does. So Rhonda can get up, and Rhonda's just going to come over here and grab this debris. With a 9 as well. Get an extra bone blade. All right, I'll take it. Bonesmith. Oh, come on. Clicked too fast. All right, so she's got a backup bone blade. Then, first move, we're going to have Shirley get out of the blind spot because that's not a fun place to be. So now we need a 6 to hit with the rib blade. That's a hit. All right, so rib blade, strength 5. Shirley has 2 strength of her own, so she's wounding on anything but a 2. Anything but a 1. And the rib blade has deadly, so she'll be critting on a 9. That's a crit. Cool. We get a stout kidney. Stout kidney. And deal that wound. And then Kumar, you're just going to stay right where you are. With your bone axe, hitting on a 6. 1 hit. So strength 3 plus 1, 4. So we are wounding on a 4. Wouldn't mind missing this wound. Oh well, I'll take the wound. Not going to complain about a wound. Which gives us the wretch. Bleh. So Kumar and Rhonda will both take 1 damage directly. So that is 1 to Kumar's hand. one to Rhonda's body. All right. Not a bad round. Not a bad round. Monsters up with a wall up. Closest threat in field of view in range. Unfortunately, that is now Shirley. Was trying to make Kumar be that, but couldn't work. So this will be only 2 speed. Wow, he can hit for less. Hitting on 3s. Both hits. So 1 damage each. Wow, body blows for days from the Gorm. But that's that. Unfortunately, could not get her the rawhide vest. Opted for the headband instead. All right, our turn. Kumar is just going to stand Shirley back up. Gets that survival back. Shirley is going to get out of the danger zone. Looking for that 6 again. That'll do. And then beat the out. We are in the flank. Not that she needs it. That is definitely a wound. Nothing else happening there. Real quickly, while I'm thinking of it, we are just going to bring our overlay back up, unfortunately. Again, sorry, team. Did my best to get it up and running. Couldn't make it happen. Next up. Farley. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Need to step up 1. Actually going to step up a little bit to stay out of line there. Hitting on a 7. Not happening. Rhonda. Would like to get her somewhere else, but that's probably the best. Shoot, I forgot to keep track. I know we wounded with a rib blade, and we wounded with the axe. Have not gotten a fist and tooth one yet. Just got to keep track of that because weapon proficiency is going to be a thing. All right, hitting on big ol' 8s. No, unfortunately. And then Kumar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd rather keep him in facing. So he will just rawhide headband. Strobe would be awful right now. Random survivor sucks. But yeah, Strobe would be devastating. So I think we just have to hope for the best with body check. Yeah, as long as it's not Farley, we're all right. So for the monster's turn, random survivor in range, which is anyone. And it is... Why did I even say it? Why did I even say it? 1, 2. All right, at least he didn't stop on top of them. Hitting on a 3. Does Farley just want to dodge this one? Yeah, because I've already got to stand enough people up. I think we're just going to have Farley dodge this one. And that's that. All right, so we have to deal a wound. Who's got a founding stone? Farley. So, because I cannot have this strobe go off. That would be a problem. All right, back around to our turn. Kumar is going to stand up Shirley, getting his survival back. And then Shirley is going to stand up Rhonda. All right. Probably the best move is for Rhonda to go first. Get out of that blind spot with a hit. And then the way Rhonda works, she ain't that strong. So she would be wounding on a 9. Or I'm sorry, on a 7. But she will be critting on an 8. Yeah, wound on 7, crit on 8. Failure would be bad. Of course. So he's going to retch. So that's going to take Shirley out of this round. So I don't want to spend the last survivals on either of them. Kumar's already used his. Farley will take 1 damage direct to his body. All right. Good job, Rhonda. So Kumar can get in here. We'll do him front and center. Why not? 1 hit. Well, death blow is not going to be relevant. Kumar wounds on a 4. It's a crit, but that doesn't matter on that card. All right. We got rid of this thing. That was priority 1. Unfortunately, we've got some killer cards left in the AI deck, but not much we could do about that. Farley, just kind of step out of the way a bit, bud. Throw your dart for a hit. Dart hits surprisingly hard, so wounding on a 3. That's a wound. Nothing else of note there. All right, so hopefully we got rid of one of those bad ones. Let's see. Wallop. Wallop's fine. Closest threat in field of view in range would be either Rhonda or Kumar. We're clearly going to choose Kumar. This will be hitting on 5s. 1 hit, which Kumar is just going to dodge. Got plenty of survival as well as rawhide. Does not get the survival back. And since it's been a while, that's the ability of the rawhide armor. Spend survival, roll a d10 on a 6+, you get it back. And then that's it. Cool. So Shirley will get to stand up. First off, we're going to get Rhonda out of the splash zone. Really need to get that fist and tooth. Got a hit. So again, wound on 7, crit on 8. No. Basic action. Which is 2 speed, 2 accuracy. So that'll hit on a 3s. 1 hit. Let's see where it goes. To the head. That would be bad. So Rhonda is going to spend her only survival to dodge that. And that's that. All right. Rhonda. Yeah, Rhonda needs to stay out of danger as much as she can right now. Or no, that was Rhonda's turn. Whoopsie. Okay. So Shirley can get into this spot then. Fortunately, Rhonda already used her move. Shirley get that hit. Swing that blade. Another crit. All right, I think we have exercised the curse on the rib blade. Shower of Gore rains on the attacker. Gain a Jiggling Lard. That's a good one. Jiggling Lard is a very good one. The attacker may rip into the hunk of flesh immediately. If they do, archive the resource to gain +1 courage and +3 insanity. As much as I would like to do that, I really want to hold on to the Jiggling Lard. Because also, as many resources as we can get out of the deck means we're more likely to draw the good cards that we really want out of the deck. Did I do the wound? I don't think I did the wound. All right, next up, Farley. Do your thing, bud. Cool. And then what did we say? He's wounding on a 3? Yeah, wounding on a 3. That's a wound. Oh, come on! All right. I mean, is what it is. I think we're almost done here. Just need Wanda to soak another wretch. We'll start with Kumar. To his legs, that's fine. Rhonda to her legs, that should be fine. Yeah, she's good. And then the only one left is Kumar himself, so he's just going to step up, swing that axe of his. With 2 hits. Kumar might end this. I was really hoping to give Rhonda another shot, but... All right, well, nothing bad here, so we're going to start here. Kumar wounds on a 4. That's a wound. Fairly positive there's only 1 card left here. That is correct. All right, well, part of me kind of hopes Kumar doesn't wound so that Rhonda can get another shot with her fist and tooth. But otherwise, it is what it is. Well, Kumar's just going to do it. That's it. Gorm is done, folks. What a difference having weapons makes. So last campaign, we got a rib blade, which was nice. And then we just had bone darts and bone blades, and that was it. And the rib blade was cursed. But we pulled it through. We will take it. So everybody gets an XP. We're going to get some ages happening here. I think all 4 of them are going to age up. And then again, just to cover, since it's the first time we've come across it in this campaign, this is the way it works. You get your rewards in order, so you get your hunt XP, and as soon as you get that hunt XP, it immediately triggers the age event. In the age event, you get to select a weapon proficiency. And then the second reward is a weapon proficiency level if you're eligible. So let's start off with ages for everybody. We will start with Shirley. With a 9. That should be a fighting art. Yep, almost always a fighting art. Shirley gets Timeless Eye. All right, perfect hit on a 9 or a 10. Not great on its own, but can synergize with some things. And her weapon proficiency is going to be Grand Weapon. And we're just going to go ahead and tick that off now. This rib blade is a Grand Weapon. Bold of you assume I'm going to make it far enough to get Sculpture, but I appreciate that. But yeah, Timeless Eye is just a good solid one for a lot of survivors. Next up, we have Kumar with an 11. That's a fighting art. Yes, yes. No, you're absolutely not wrong. It's not the most fun one, but it's certainly a good one. Mammoth hunting. Get 1 strength. That's actually not great for Kumar. because he wants to be in the facing. But I'm sure we can make some use of that. Yes, typically something that's generically good for everyone is going to be better than something that's really good for a minority of people. And then his weapon proficiency is going to be axe. And he gets a check. Then we've got Farley. That 19. Wow. 1 permanent accuracy. That's great. He's not going to select a weapon proficiency yet. Unfortunately, there is no thrown weapon proficiency. But with +1 accuracy, that's going to be pretty nice. And then finally, our girl Rhonda. That's cocked. With a 9, that's a fighting art. Come on, give me something good. Extra sense may dodge an additional time per round. That would be great for anybody that's not Rhonda because of Ghostly Beauty. Not spending. I mean, I might if it comes up, but not planning on spending 4 survival on 2 dodges in 1 round. And she will select Fist and Tooth. Unfortunately, she did not wound this fight, so she does not get a tick. That is age handled. We did weapon proficiencies, and then we just get our rewards. So that's going to be 4 basic resources. Hide. Bone is good. Hide. Another love juice. Then for Gorm, we got meaty rib, stout hide, stout kidney, stout hide. Still no dense bone. All right. But that is Showdown over. We get to return. We get our endeavors. Yay. Update our timeline. So check. Do our settlement event. And then we still have a Gorm climate as well. Make sure I got the whole deck there. That was weird. I always get nervous when it only shuffles like 1 card randomly. I think I don't have it stacked correctly. All right, so our settlement event for the year is, oh, shoot, Acid Storm. The air tastes sour and burns the survivors' cracked lips. The sky cracks in great flashes, revealing spiraling black clouds. Finally, it opens, dousing everything in acid rain. Roll a D. Got Acid Storm and Gorm climate. It's funky out here, y'all. So we've got a 5. The survivor with the highest insanity runs into the storm bellowing wildly. They must skip the next hunt. I think that's going to be Larry over here. Larry or Sonia. They both have 3. I said randomize on a tie. Yeah. So odds Larry, evens Sonia. Sonia. Well, Sonia wasn't going back out anyway. He's having a bad time. What was his problem? Yeah, fear of the dark. He's never going out on a hunt again. So that was best case scenario. What else have we got going on? Whoops. The storm prevents music endeavors. That's fine. We don't have any music endeavors. Storm inspires +2 to the results of all art endeavors. I'm fairly certain we don't have any art endeavors either. We don't have nightmare training. Don't have cooking. Whoops. And then we need to resolve our Gorm climate. All right, add Gorm climate to the next year, as always. Gorm climate. And roll our D10. Let's see what happens. With a 4. Does someone have hovel? No. The echoing cries carried on the wind wear out the returning survivors, reduce their insanity to 0. Well, joke's on you. None of them have insanity. Yeah, none of them have insanity. Fortunately, they must skip the next hunt. That's a problem. That's a big problem. Thankfully, we have 4 able-bodied survivors, or we'd be in big trouble. All right. Well, that's that. Check milestones. Nothing of note happening there. And we get to develop. All right. So, first of all, let's gather up some of these guys. Oh, come on. All right, iron. I don't think we're going to be doing much with the iron. This got our jiggling lard. Unfortunately, still don't have the dense bone to make the gax. Stout kidney. And all these goodies. All right, and I'm fairly certain we don't have anything in storage. Love juice and a broken lantern. Okay. Nothing great in storage. So, let's take a look at what we can make at the Gormery before we start making decisions. Meaty rib, nothing happening there. Mammoth hand, don't have that yet. Yeah, still looking for that dense bone. What does the kidney do? Kidneys for the Gormant suit. Which again, we're not really going to be pursuing the Gorm gear until we start doing level 2 Gorms. All right, so nothing special happening. This is the brain, right? Yeah, that's the brain. And need to spend 2 organs to do this. I don't think we're going to be doing that this lantern year, but we'll see. But first things first, we're definitely just going to innovate. So we'll take a hide, a bone, and we'll take one of these kidneys. And an endeavor to innovate. All right, let's see how this goes. We get Hovel and Albedo. Well, I guess the choice is Hovel, because we have other ways to get Albedo. Not a great one, but we'll take it. Brings our survival limit up by 1. Departing survivors gain 1. So nothing to complain about, as well as give us some other benefits from some other stuff. And then on its own, nothing particularly exciting, though. I got to get our Hovel consequences. Oh my god, the innovation deck is so big. Partnership. Family. Bed. I think that's all of them. Yeah, it's going to be all of them. All right, thickening up that deck, unfortunately. So just as a preview, the things we're looking for here. Drums would be nice, not critical right now. Inner Lantern gives us our Surge action. Paint gives us our Dash action. And then Symposium just lets us draw 2 extra cards. So, like, those 3 are the big ones. We didn't hit them last campaign. Hopefully we can rectify that this time around. All right. Otherwise, I can finish my second Rawhide set, so I think that's a good play. With a Monster Hide and 2 Stout Hides. So this will give us a second tank with gloves, pants, and a vest. And then, oh, meaty rib actually counts as an organ. That's nice. So we're going to take a meaty rib and a stout kidney. To make ourselves an organ grease. Or a monster grease, sorry. What else we got? So we want to go for a lucky charm? Or do we try to hold on to the lard? Can we actually activate the lucky charm? We can. Okay. So clearly the dense bone is the harder thing to get out of this deck. Because there's, I think, two. There's two. And there's one. There's two jiggling lards, and we seem to have gotten plenty of jiggling lards. All right, no need to tempt fate just yet. We're going to hold on to the jiggling lard and the second love juice. And the reason is for this greater Gax. This greater Gax is such a good weapon. Let's see if we can find it in here. Yeah. 2 speed, hits on 6, 4 strength, deadly, reach 2. And then if we can get some, forgetting the word right now, get some, I completely blanking, match up the colors, gets +4 strength on a perfect hit. So this is where that Timeless Eye would be nice. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. As for our other innovations, I think the smart move would be just to, again, do shared experience, since we have to bring out these two folks. Get them XP. And then maybe just make another stone nose. Augury, holding off on that. Intimacy is scary for us right now. And no reason to do that when we're sitting on 2 love juices. Do we spend the love juices now, or do we risk losing them in Gorm Climate? We have enough rerolls. I think it's worth holding on to the love juices. Yep, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do shared experience to get 1 XP on these new survivors, Kiko and Violet, who will be joining Asteria and Larry. Kiko and Larry with Asteria and Violet. This is like our dog. Our dog's the mother side of his family, champion bloodline, all kinds of fancy names. The father's side of the family, Rusty Rover, was like Metal Tomahawk or something like that. Like, but that's what happening there. So let's, unfortunately, can I pick up multiples? I cannot. Rhonda, you're sitting out. Kumar, you are sitting out. It's all right. Let's us work on a B team. It's always nice to have a good B team. So the Darby story, I was talking about Darby's family lineage, because coming out on the next fight, we have Larry, and Kiko, who are joined by Violet, and Asteria. Two very fancy ladies with two basic dudes. So probably going to move some stuff around here. Get out of the way, sir. So what we're probably going to do... All right, we're going to bring these bandages over here. Might make a second bandage sooner or later. So we're going to skull helm. Get rid of that cloth. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Let me get these guys, bring all this stuff over. All right, we can make our normal little rawhide setup here. The monster grease is going to go here. Because this is Kumar's setup. And he doesn't need the monster grease, or do we want to give him the monster grease? Yeah, we're going to juice up Kumar. Kumar is going to be stacked. Skull helm we'll put over here. And then we can just scoot this over. Oh no, we didn't make the lucky charm yet, did we? That's right. Did we? We didn't make. I thought we had made the lucky charm. No. Right, because we were thinking about spending the jiggling lard and we decided to hold on to it. We didn't make the lucky charm. So this can go back on that character. But solid setup. I think we're good. What do we have here? Last man standing on Violet. So we're actually going to swap Violet with Asteria. And Larry, I forgot about Larry. Had some trouble going on, but he's okay. Absent seizures and rageaholic. Yeah, he's fine. He'll be all right. Larry is what we call expendable. All right, nothing else to prepare for. Right, we were going to make a stone nose as well. That was the last thing we were going to do. I knew I was missing an item somewhere. Yeah, you need some survival. Well, no, because you're going to get 2. And then departing gets +1, right? Yeah. So that's going to bring you up to 4. Larry will come up to 3. 2 there, nothing there. Okay. So you're getting a stone nose. I think we'll give the other one to Larry. Right? Or do we want to get some insanity on this person? Nah, Larry's good. Larry's got it. All right, so going to take a short break to get everything set up for our next encounter with the Gorm. So stand by, hang out, and I'll be back in just a few.